Hello DIYers! Today I'm going to show you how to transform your countertops to the look of butcher block using our butcher block countertop paint kit. Let's get started. Everything you need to create your butcher block countertop finish is right in the kit. To begin your prep work, no sanding is required for typical laminate countertops. Just a very thorough deep cleaning using an SOS or Brillo pad to remove any possible dirt or grease. Then rinse and remove the cleaner with water because any remaining residue may keep the paint from adhering. Next, tape off the areas that you don't want painted. If your countertop layout has corners, you will apply your Gianni butcher block paint in two separate sets of directions. One set will form the vertical boards and the other the horizontal boards. You will alternate working between these two board directions throughout each step of the process. If you are only painting an island or a single run of countertop, then you'll perform the application in one direction. To create the sections, you will follow your countertop's diagonal seam. Once your surface has been prepped, you are ready to apply the primer. You'll be using a roll-on and brush-out technique. Quickly roll on the primer to your countertop section. Don't worry about lap lines or roll direction. Just work quickly to reach full coverage. Then prep your 11-inch foam brush by coating a little of the primer to its edge. Use the foam brush to smooth out the paint in long one-way passes following the length of your countertops. This will help to create a natural grain effect. Be cautious not to press down too hard as to squeegee the primer off of the surface. Finish your edges following the same direction as the top brush strokes. For backsplashes, first edge in with your 2-inch foam brush and then fill in the area with your roller. Next, immediately backbrush to smooth out and impart the wood grain effect. For corner layouts, you will apply the full 2-coat priming process on either side of the corner one at a time, as the adjoining side must be taped off during the application. Due to the size of the 11-inch foam brush, you'll need to cover up the section of countertop adjacent to the seam. Use tape or paper. Seal your applicators with foil or place in a Ziploc bag between coats to prevent them from drying out. For your second coat of primer, follow the same application techniques. Again, let dry for at least 2 hours. Once your second coat on the first section has dried for 2 hours, place the tape on the other side of the corner seam and follow the same 2-coat priming process. Wash out your foam brushes to reuse for the top coat. For this next step, use your kit's included frog tape to measure out and tape your butcher block board segments. Begin by aligning the edge of the tape roll with the edge of your countertop surface. Then mark lightly with a pencil where the width of the tape roll ends. Place the tape roll against that line and again mark the end of that width. Repeat until you've covered the section. Then follow the same marking process at the opposite end of your section. It's best to start the first mark at the back of your countertop section and work your way forward. For backsplashes, create your first mark by laying the roll flat on your countertop, and then make the marks above until you reach the wall. For corners, we recommend placing a straight piece of tape down to make your marks on. To create the butcher block boards, connect the pencil marks from both ends of your countertop section with a strip of frog tape. Again, start from the back of your countertop and work forward. Tape every other set of marks. Check to make sure you don't have any crooked or wrinkled lines, and then run over the strips with your hand to smooth it out. Once you've completed taping your entire section, press over the strips with a credit card to seal the edges and prevent bleed through. To create your grain coat mix, pour the entire 8 fluid ounces of wood grain coat into your kit's mixing cup. Then add 4 fluid ounces of water for a total of 12 ounces. Stir the paint and water together until fully mixed. Next, starting at the boards farthest away from you and working forward, use your wood graining brush to apply a light layer of the wood grain coat mix. Since my island is so wide, I'm starting at the center and working towards myself, and then switching to the other side to complete. Work the paint across the entire board length, going back and making multiple light end-to-end brush strokes until you have achieved your preferred shade of grain coverage. We recommend working in about 2 to 3 strips at a time. That way, once you've completed covering your second or third strip, you can go back to the first strip to impart more texture. This is because the paint will be slightly tacky, allowing you to create a more natural wood grain effect. If you put a lot of pressure on your brush, it will create more defined grain lines. If you brush with a lighter touch, there will be a softer contrast. For countertops with a backsplash, you will start with a backsplash first and work your way forward. Since it's a vertical surface, apply a lighter coverage to prevent any runs or drips. For corner layouts, again you must apply the full graining process on either side of the corner one at a time, as the adjoining side must be taped off during the application. Cover and seal the mixing cup and brush to keep fresh for the next step. Allow your butcher block boards to completely dry to the touch before removing the tape. Wait a minimum of 2 hours before applying the second set of butcher block boards. Before painting, lightly sand the board section edges to smooth out the raised seam created from the tape. Be sure to use extremely light pressure as to not sand away too much of the grain coat. This time, there's no need to tape off segments. You'll paint over the blank boards and the painted boards. This second layer will deepen the grain of the previously painted sections, resulting in more contrast between the boards. Be sure to smooth out any drips. Again, paint only 2 to 3 sections at a time and then go back over the previously painted boards to create more texture. Once your second coat on the first section has dried for 2 hours, place the tape on the other side of the corner seam and follow the same 2-coat graining process. Once you're satisfied with your board's shade, let dry for a minimum of 2 hours. Your final step, the top coat, is applied exactly the same as the primer, except you only need 1 coat. Quickly roll out the top coat to reach even full coverage and then backbrush while wet. Finally, coat the edges and smooth out. For countertops with backsplashes, first edge in with your 2-inch foam brush and then fill in the area with your roller. Next, immediately backbrush to smooth out. For corners, you'll still need to apply the top coat in sections. Prep your foam brush by coating a little of the top coat to its edge. If your foam brush picks up an excess amount of top coat, clean off between passes. Allow the first section to dry for at least 2 hours before taping and top coating the next section. Remove all the painter's tape after the top coat has dried for at least half an hour. Then step back, relax, and enjoy your new kitchen. To care for your Gianni butcher block countertops, only clean with mild dish soap and water. If you have any before and after pictures of your makeover, we would love to see them. Send any pictures to info@giannigranite.com. Thanks for watching!